We've got people in our team right now, people in our indie founder coaching program, people in our community right now, even who are running Free+Shipping and Handling funnels at scale with a profit. They're making a profit off of giving away free CDs, which is nuts.
You are now listening to the Creative Juice podcast brought to you by Entrepreneur.io.
What's up, indies? Welcome back to the Creative Juice podcast. This is episode 307, and we're going to be talking about how to turn your fans into customers. I think this will be a nice continuation of our discussion from last week where we were talking about funnels and how to build funnels and how to think about building funnels. I'm your host, Jack McCarthy. With me, as always, is your other host, Circa. Cirque, what's up, dude? Are you ready to talk about turning fans into customers?
I'm ready, dude. I'm ready.
Let's kick this off with a little fact here.
Existing customers are 5 times more likely to buy a product from you than a non-customer. Through the transitive property, we could say that an existing customer is 5 times less expensive to acquire a transaction from. You could also say that an existing customer is just as likely to buy something as a non-customer when it's 5 times more expensive than what you're offering the non-customer.
So you can see here the lack of friction when it comes to taking an existing customer and asking them to do something else, to have another transaction with you. It's a lot easier once you get them over the hurdle of becoming a customer for the very first time. And that's what we want to talk about on today's episode, is talking about a strategy that we use often here inside Entrepreneur, and we teach and we run at our agency and with our coaching clients on how to take fans who've never bought anything from you before and turn them into customers. There's a lot of ways that you can do this, but today we're going to be talking about one funnel that we like to use to help facilitate this process of turning a fan who's, been hanging around your world, enjoying your music, maybe streaming your music, but they've never bought something from you before. And they've especially never bought something from you before online. And we're going to be talking about Free+Shipping and Handling funnels, what they are, how they work, and how you might be able to use one in your music career today, and kind of overview the strategy. It's been a while since we've talked about this on the show, so I think it'll be cool.
Yeah, it actually hasn't been that long. I do want to just say that, I know we've done content about this last year, but I don't think we actually just walked through the rationale behind it, how it works, how it's set up in linear fashion. I think we were just talking about Dukes's Free+Shipping and Handling funnel and how much it was crushing last year, which as of this month, it's crushing even harder with broad targeting, but we won't get into that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I agree 100%. It's been peppered in. I think we've talked about this strategy plenty of times on the show in the last year, but it's been a while since we've done a full kind of overlay of what the strategy is, the rationale behind it, why it works, what it works to do, when it's appropriate to use it, and when it's appropriate to use it in different styles of execution. So yeah, I think this will be really, really cool. You've probably, if you spend any time on the internet, there's some level of likelihood that you've been targeted with a Free+Shipping and Handling funnel offer, whether it be through email or some ads that you've seen. There's some likelihood that you might have seen an offer like this before. Sir, let's give a rundown on what a Free+Shipping and Handling offer is classically, if you can call it that, and then we can dive into some of the specific prescriptions that we make.
Yeah, well, first off, it's useful to state that offering a full price, your core product that your business offers as the first interaction you have with a customer is traditionally not very successful. And long ago in direct response marketing, as far back as the 1920s, people realized that if you don't ask for marriage on the first date, but if you just have a nice experience and then you have a few more dates, marriage is much more likely. So this sort of not asking for marriage on the first date principle goes all the way back over 100 years. And it's about giving value to somebody to entice them to learn more about you, to become more familiar with you as a business. There's all these psychological principles of influence that are ever in your favor when you offer something of value without asking anything in return as the first interaction. And so funnels were born, right? We give value first on the front end, and we slowly work our way towards the purchase of the core offer. The Free+ Shipping and Handling funnel is an interesting spin on this because, and it's not new necessarily, like definitely not new. It's probably a century old, to be honest. But the principle being that instead of just giving something for free away, which, if you think about it, if you're offering something for free in order to entice people who might one day become customers, you're going to get a lot of people who would never become customers, right? You're going to get a lot of freeloaders hanging around. So there's two ways of thinking about getting someone's foot in the door. You can offer a lead magnet, which is a free offer of value to get someone into your world, or you can offer a tripwire or something just very low cost that's almost a no-brainer for someone. But it does validate that they are buyers. They are willing to pull out their credit card or willing to pull out their wallet and spend for the value, even if it's just a nominal amount. And so in the modern era, that's been made, that's been emphasized because the hardest thing to do in online marketing and e-commerce is to get someone to pull out their credit card, enter in all those numbers, enter in their shipping and billing address, and enter in the CVV and the expiration date. Like, it's a big pain in the ass in terms of like things we normally do online comparatively. And once you're over that hurdle with modern online checkouts, you don't have to get them to enter that credit card back in if you're offering more products on the back end. So if I might be willing to suffer through pulling out my credit card and entering all that info if I'm going to get something extremely valuable for very low cost. So that's that free item. Once I've done that, you can offer me full price items before my checkout is finished, where I can one click just add it to my purchase. And they don't have to re-enter that info. So the friction of entering the info is already passed. And now you're in an environment where you just gave them something for free, reciprocity. They are now familiar with you to a degree, which is sort of like liking. And now the friction of having actually entered that information is behind them. And so they can actually, if they were to purchase a full price product, like that's the easiest time they're going to be able to do it. And so that's where the Free+ Shipping and Handling funnel was born. You offer a free item that's just like a no-brainer. Of course, I'm going to take this because it's free. And then on the back end of that, you're offering other full price products. And if they don't take them, that's fine. They just got a free item. But if they do take them, it more than makes up for all the free items you're giving away.
Right, exactly. I think that that's a helpful starting point just to kind of overlay like, yeah, you're not just giving away free stuff, you're setting up a whole architecture of sales on the back end that then a customer, a new customer can go through and kind of pick and choose the things that they might be interested in. And you've already gotten them over the hurdle of putting in their credit card information for the first time, which is really cool. And that's something with a Free+ Shipping and Handling funnel that the internet really revolutionized in a lot of ways. If you think about it, you're right, Circa. Free+ Shipping and Handling funnels have been around for a really, really long time. I mean, think about even mailing Free+ Shipping and Handling funnels. You used to see this all the time with like cereal boxes. It would be like, redeem your, get your free thing, your free prize, your free toy, whatever. Just mail in a box top and $5.95 for shipping and handling, and we'll send you this free thing.
Yeah, it's also Columbia House Music Club.
Mm-hmm.
They used to give the offers of like free CDs.
Yeah.
Or like CDs for a penny, right? Virtually free. They would get you to sign up for an ongoing like CD subscription on the back end. Now they were a little bit, I will say, like less honest than I would like to be in a Free+ Shipping and Handling funnel. Like, I don't think you knew you were signing up for like $100 a year like thing when you signed up for that. But it's very much kind of the same principle. There's some transaction involved, but it's nominal. It's like nothing. In the case of a Free+ Shipping and Handling funnel, you're only paying for shipping and handling, and there are no hidden charges baked in. But yeah, like it's definitely not new, and it's even not new to music, but kind of in the era when Entrepreneur was, first starting, was also the era that like ClickFunnels was just rampaging. And Russell Brunson, who's an internet marketer who, made it big with ClickFunnels, which is a software platform that makes building these kinds of funnels very easy. There's a lot more now, than there were back then. Like, it was a major innovation back then. And he had a very popular book called, what was it?
.com secrets.
.com secrets, right? And in that, he detailed this Free+Shipping and handling funnel, an online spin on an already existing concept in direct response marketing. And we just decided, like, well, we've got a great free product to offer that has insanely cheap to produce, that doesn't kill us to offer for free, which is a CD. So let's try that out. And it worked beautifully. And so it became one of the main things that we recommend. Over time, though, at first, like, this is just something we very conservatively did with warm audiences, people who were already your fan, but hadn't necessarily purchased something yet. So it was a great way to convert people who were like in your world already, but hadn't bought, into buyers, into customers. Over time, our team here at Entrepreneur, as it grew, like, started experimenting with just doing it to cold audiences, people who had never heard of you before, started getting successes. And that was like 3 or 4 years ago when that really started. Now, where we sit today, it's like a main like audience and customer base growth method at Entrepreneur. So it went from like something we will deploy if you've got a big email list of people who aren't customers yet. We never deploy to people who've never heard of you, to now it's like, the second we can, we're going to deploy this to people who have never heard of you and make a profit off of it. Even like, it was thought of as a break-even strategy to create customers at first. Now, like, we have team members who are like profiting off of it at scale, spending, a lot of money per month on ads that all liquidates and then generates them a return.
This is a good jumping off point to talk about the various places where you can execute this strategy. One thing I want to touch on real quick before we dive into that is a tip, something that you can think about if you think that a strategy like this would be interesting for your music career. And if you're listening, it probably would be, is you're offering a free CD for no cost, except the customer needs to pay shipping and handling. A trick here, a trick I would call it, is you want to consider your cost of shipping and handling, plus, if you can, baking in the cost of goods, the cost for you to produce the CD, the $1.50 or so that it costs. Think about that and factor that into your shipping and handling charge so that you're as close to break even on this funnel, on, the main product, the main free product, as you can be. And then, as Cirque was talking about, when you build a funnel like this, you want to have a series of order bumps, which are additional products that people can buy on the main checkout page, and upsells, products that people can buy or offers that people can buy after they enter their credit card information and hit the submit button. They get a series of additional offers that they can take, usually related to the CD that you're selling them. So it might be a t-shirt related to that record. It might be potentially a vinyl upsell of that record if you have it. There's a number of different offers that you can stack into this. It could be additional CDs. Oftentimes that's what we recommend, kind of taking people through your discography if you've got the inventory to do so. These are the kind of prerequisites to having this kind of funnel, using this kind of funnel out the gate. You want to have different types of products that you can offer to people and a series that you can offer them within. So that's 2 tips that I would make before we dive into actually executing this and using it to turn fans into customers. And Cirque, I think you mentioned it well, in one of the easiest and lowest hanging fruit ways to deploy this funnel is if you've got fans in your ecosystem. Let's say you've got, 30,000 followers on social media, maybe a little bit of an email list starting to get built up from people who are coming to see you at shows or wanting to see you at shows. Maybe it's people that you're picking up along the way. Maybe you've had, you've run some giveaways. Maybe you've had some lead magnets or bribes that you've ran to build up a little bit of a list. If you've got people hanging out in those 2 areas, but they've never bought from you online before, this is an amazing funnel to deploy. Put out messaging on your socials through organic posts and through your emails and maybe through text marketing if you've got it, to send out, hey, I'd like to send you a free CD. All you got to do is cover shipping and handling and I'll send it your way. Drop them the link and you will immediately start to turn some of these people into customers.
Yeah. An important point, that in a traditional environment, right, you would be paying someone for handling costs. Like handling is an actual cost. It's picking and packing orders. And so shipping is like what you pay to the USPS or to UPS or whatever. Handling is like getting it into that package out the door, handling the actual order. And so if you're self-fulfilling, which is the case for a lot of our indies to begin with, they're fulfilling their own orders. If you're self-fulfilling, you're doing the handling. And you've got an abundance of time over money, comparatively at the beginning of your business. So it makes sense for you to trade that time in exchange for the money of making back your margin on the CD.
Well said. That makes it feel way less icky.
It isn't icky, right? Like you literally are fulfilling the handling yourself.
Yeah, it's not icky at all. But hopefully that breaks that obstacle. I wasn't even going to bring that up. I'm glad you did.
Yeah, yeah. Because sometimes people are like, isn't that dishonest? It's like, well, not really. Like you are being paid in CD margin to do the handling. You could think of it like that. So yeah, that said, the Free+Shipping and Handling funnel is essentially like there's an ad or an email or some traffic source, right? And we like to think of social media platforms as traffic stores. Another traffic source is email, could be text messaging, it could be you DMing people. These are all ways to get traffic. Traffic then goes to your conversion destination, which is an order form or a sales page, a website, a web page on which you are offering this free CD. And there's an order form. Someone can put in their credit card information and check out for it. And then just as Jack said, through the magic of modern payment processing, you can basically like once they click submit on that order, the order is not done. It's in a state of like pending. And until they actually make it through this funnel, the next set of pages, that order doesn't crystallize and get submitted through the payment processor. So you can think of it like this open shell. And until it gets to the confirmation page, you are free to add in offers. You say, would you like this extra thing? Would you like this other thing? And all that gets added into the order before it gets processed. And the beauty of that is that you are not once again going back through the friction of entering credit card information, which is like a major hassle and would make this probably infeasible. Through the magic of one-click upsells, first introduced by your boy Jeff Bezos, is one-click ordering in Amazon, this will be entirely possible. I would be remiss if I didn't mention that, like, by and large, the most successful upsell product has been, I would say, more CDs or vinyl. So like some people have done really well with t-shirts and other apparel, but it tends to be more music that ends up being, or personalization of that music, signed limited edition CDs that end up doing the best.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. And it's worth saying here that we've even seen Free+Shipping and Handling funnels work with other kinds of music products. Just recently, actually, I was talking to one of our team members and they were working with an indie founder client actually who was running a Free+Shipping and Handling funnel on cassettes, which is pretty dope. A bit more expensive to produce these days compared to CDs, but still really cool. And it goes to show that this funnel doesn't necessarily just apply to CDs, although you have to think a little bit more critically about the trade-off of cost versus return and what you can do with a funnel like this, and the traffic source or the traffic store, as Cirque said, that you might go after if you're deciding to swap things out.
Yeah.
Actually, it's funny. You mentioned Russell Brunson. Probably the first Free+Shipping and Handling funnel that I ever purchased through was .com Secrets. It had to be. If it wasn't, then I'm forgetting what the first one I went through was. But I definitely didn't realize what I was going through if it wasn't that one first, because I have that book on my bookshelf right next to me here.
Yeah. There's one thing about the Free+Shipping and Handling book funnel introduced by Russell Brunson that we don't get as artists, which is usually people who are offering a book for free are trying to sell you a course or a coaching program, a mentorship, or an agency. These are all sort of info or knowledge-based businesses. We're an info and knowledge-based business. And the thing about a book is that it is instant credibility and authority. If I took the time to write and publish a book on a subject, the general presumption is that I'm an expert and an authority in that subject.
Right.
Even though any jackass can like type up a fucking book and put it on Amazon, like it's not.
Now you don't even have to type it up. Now you just build it with an AI.
Chat GPT to friggin' produce it. Exactly. Yeah, yeah. So there's a framing and a positioning angle to a Free+Shipping Handling book funnel that we as artists don't really get, because we're not framing or positioning authority for, someone who will later buy our expertise, essentially. But nonetheless, tends to work out, right? We've got people in our team right now, people in our indie founder coaching program, people in our community right now, even, who are running Free+Shipping Handling funnels at scale with a profit. They're making a profit off of giving away free CDs, which is nuts.
We have an agency client who's running a Free+Shipping and Handling funnel and has been since the spring of last year with a specific record that they released. And what's really cool is, and I haven't seen this done with any other clients or indies, but sharing the experience here, they are also selling into continuity through a membership. And the trick there is the membership tier that they're selling is a CD every single month because he has a huge discography, and that's working really well. So it's selling at $15 a month and getting people into this membership through the Free+Shipping and Handling funnel, which is pretty dope.
Pretty rad, yeah.
Well, we could talk a little bit about cold traffic and some of the caveats and some of the ways we recommend it or who we recommend it for and who we don't.
Yeah. So I would like to preface this by saying, like, even though I said, we have people who are running this to cold audiences who've never heard of them and getting them to buy CDs and making profits off of the upsells, we still strongly advise that people only ever test this out with their existing audience, because I don't want to spend too long on this explanation, but like, in order to get Facebook ads where the objective of the ad is to get a purchase, you're running a conversions campaign. Conversions campaigns have the highest cost per 1,000 impressions that you will get in the Facebook ads platform. And you need 50 conversions in order for a Facebook ad campaign to properly optimize. In order for one of your ad sets to optimize, it needs to register 50 conversions, usually within a 7 to 10 day time frame, in order to optimize properly, at the very least, which means that you need enough budget to achieve 50 plus conversions within the first 7 to 10 days. So if it costs you about $10, let's say, to generate a customer, that would mean that you need, at a bare minimum, let's say you're spending $50 a day, whatever your cost to acquire a purchase is. At the end of the week, you've spent $350. And a lot of people, especially artists, cannot afford to just burn $350 on an experiment that doesn't work out. So we like to test these things with warm audiences first. That said, if you've tested it with your existing fan base and you were able to create a lot of customers off of people who are kind of sitting on the fence on your email list or in your socials, a lot of people took the offer. That's kind of a bullish sign that, like, maybe you should try it out with cold audiences. So it's important that you know the mathematics behind what makes this thing profitable. So there's a few numbers that, like, I want you to think about if you're thinking about launching this, and really, like, get these on a spreadsheet, play around with them on a whiteboard, understand what the mechanics of this are before going into it, which is that on the before the click side, right? Like, let's say you're running ads to get these customers. Before they actually click on the ad, you have a number of different metrics. You have CPM, which is cost per 1,000 impressions. You have click-through rate, how many of those 1,000 impressions end up clicking. And then you have cost per click. Cost per click is a really convenient way to just collapse those two numbers down. How much does it cost me to actually get a click over to the page? Once they've clicked on the ad, post-click, we have conversion rate for the actual sale. So that's the rate at which, a person, let's say 100 people land on your sales page for this free CD. How many of them buy? That's your conversion rate in a percentage. Then you have a take rate on the upsell or the order bump. These are other offers you're throwing in after they've already entered their information. And so that all these numbers, conspire to give you your profitability. I'll say this. Let's say you're getting $1 clicks. Let's say it costs you $1 to get a click over to the page. So in order to get 100 clicks, you'll spend $100. And if your conversion rate, let's say, is 5%, that means after spending $100, you'll only get 5 people to take that CD offer. Now, that's a pretty low conversion rate, but it's definitely something you could feasibly experience, like especially if it's your first go.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah, you spend $100 to get 5 conversions just for the free CD, which means you've just lost $100. Let's say that you have your first upsell is an item that costs you $2 to produce and the price is $15, right? So that means you net, if anyone takes that upsell, you make $13. Okay, great. What is the rate of conversion for the upsell? Let's say it's 20%. That means only one person out of those 5 is going to take it, which means you're adding $13. So you haven't lost 100, you've lost 87. Okay. And then let's say you have a second upsell, and that's also $13, and the take rate is 20% again. Well, you only got one person through the door off of those 100 clicks on the first upsell. So even if you have a take rate of 50%, there's a 50-50 chance that that one person doesn't even take that. So you can quickly see how this could get out of hand. You know, you could end up spending a lot of money and burning it if you're not careful. To give you some more reasonable metrics, like, you know, we have people who are getting more like 50 cents per click. They have a conversion rate more like 20%. They have a take rate more like 30-40%, right? So 50 cents per click, it cost me $50 to get 100 people to the sales page for the free CD. A conversion rate of 20%, that means that 20 people got through. And then a take rate of 40% means that out of those 20, I'm going to get 8 people to take the upsell. These numbers are a lot better, right? So it's important to know all of these numbers: cost per click, conversion rate for the initial offer, take rate for any upsells. And then you need to know your numbers in terms of your margins. How much did it cost me to produce the product they're buying? And how much am I going to make? So you take the price of it minus that cost. That's your margin. And with all these numbers, you can literally rule the world. Like these numbers are miraculous because they not only tell you your profitability, they not only tell you where problems might exist, they allow you to specifically diagnose where in this whole process the problems actually exist. You can look at your conversion rate and say, like, these are high as shit. I'm not going to get these ones better, but this cost per click is terrible. So I need better ads. I don't need to work on my offer. I don't need to work on my sales page. I need better ads, right? They tell you specifically where to fix things. And they also can help you make projections that teach you, you know, if I do this or that thing, what's my upside? How much am I likely to make extra after I make this change?
It's an old cliche, you know, like the best businesses know their numbers so well. You hear that thrown around all the time. This is a great example of like just one piece of an acquisition chain for a business where, like, if you don't know the numbers, you're more likely to lose money than you are to make it.
Yeah, exactly.
This was helpful math, Cirque, and I think also some good cautionary points about where to execute this if you're an artist thinking about doing so. You know, additionally, a lot of times when we talk about where to insert this funnel into your marketing strategy, it's helpful to think about, like, okay, if I want to use this and I've got fans already, great. I can go and shake out some customers from that group of fans that I have. If I'm looking to create new fans and customers at the same time through ads to cold audiences who don't know me, I better be sure that I've got some infrastructure on the back end and more things that I can sell them, you know, in fairly quick order so that I can be maximizing the value of those customers and reselling to them quickly. That's another sort of like cautionary point here. A lot of times when we recommend this to artists for cold traffic, one is they've got ads dialed in that they know they can plug creative into that's already working well for them. You know, they've tested and cracked kind of the content side of things. And then they can spend the money and they can have the back end infrastructure to continue to sell to these people. So those are kind of all the considerations that we make when we're consulting and coaching people on this strategy at like the spend a lot of money level. But if you're in a place where, like I said, if you've got fans and you're just looking to find a way to get them off the fence of buying from you for the first time, something you mentioned in our last episode, Cirque, is like you're always going to have a segment of people in your ecosystem that are discount seekers. They need some kind of deal, you know, the deal seeker. And this is a great offer to make to those kinds of people. It's like, hey, I've got something cool for you here. I want to offer it to you for free. Just cover the shipping. That's kind of like our handshake of goodwill towards each other. I'll send it to you for free. You cover the shipping. Cool. We're square. Doing that kind of thing to shake out existing fans is something that I think any artist could do as long as they've got some people to do it with.
Yeah, yeah. And it's also the case that like free plus shipping and handling funnels kind of come with their own urgency and scarcity, because the presumption is that like you're not going to be giving away free stuff forever, right?
Right. Right.
Like
Yep.
you can't afford to do that. It's best to mention that urgency and scarcity. Here's how many I'm giving away. Here's how long I'll be giving them away for. These are all great things to include, but it just has that much firepower where like there are tons of people in your fan base, presumably if you've got one, who would become customers. They're just that lazy. Like it's not that they have any aversion to supporting your music career. It's not that they have any aversion to being part of your ecosystem at a deeper level. It's just that they just have no good incentive to do so. And so this gives them that incentive to get off the fence. And they might become your very best customers. You never know.
Yeah, it's true. I've run this offer for countless artists at this point, and a lot of times, I mean, like I was talking about, a lot of times you'll see those same customers, those fans, end up in continuity membership programs where they're paying monthly for something. They just needed an entryway to do that. And that's really cool. This is a great acquisition method for artists, and I think it can work really, really well, especially when there's some urgency and some scarcity kind of naturally attached to it. We should do more funnel breakdowns like this, man. This was a lot of fun.
We should. Yeah. Shout out to Kyle Kraft who gave us this idea.
Yeah, thank you, Kyle Kraft. You're the man.
Yeah. And if you want to, a really in-depth deep dive on how to build a free plus shipping and handling funnel, of course, we have our training on it, which is available in our product section on our website, entrepreneur.io. But also you could join Indie Pro and get that plus 20 other trainings for free, and it would cost you less. Like, let's say you took that training in the first month of being an Indie Pro, you would have saved 60% on actually just buying the training outright. And then furthermore, we just started releasing our build tutorial for building this inside of our Indie CRM. So if you go to annual Indie Pro Plus, you get our CRM for free with it, which is a sick deal. Like it's pretty much like $1,000 worth of software just included with your annual membership. And you can build funnels inside of it, much like ClickFunnels. And we just started publishing a training on how to construct this free plus shipping and handling funnel right inside the CRM. So it's all integrated. If you want to learn more, there's multiple options to do so.
Yeah, and some of our best practices are built into the Indie CRM as well. So there's a lot that you can sort of get right out of the box there to get you started quickly and on the best foot forward. So please join us inside Indie Pro. We'd love to have you if you're not already in there. But hopefully this was a fun sort of exercise and episode for you guys to think about how to take those fans and turn them into customers, which isn't something that the music industry really talks about too much. They just talk about fans. We need more of them.
You don't give a shit about creating customers, dude.
Yeah.
They don't care.
So hopefully, if you've never turned a fan into a customer before, this gives you one way of doing it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I hope you guys dug it. Thanks for joining us today. We'll catch you next time on Creative Juice. Go make some fans into customers, Indies. Peace.
Can y'all really feel me? Feel us East Coast, feel us West Coast, feel me. Say what?